One.
Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, trend update, Yemen Cholera Epidemic reaches 750,000. We are at September 29, 2017. Scripture reference is out of Luke 21, verse 11b, and in various places, famines and pestilences. And that's Jesus we're quoting. Also out of Jeremiah 24, verse 10, I will send the sword, the famine, and the pestilence upon them until they are destroyed from the land which I gave to them and their forefathers. Now, granted, that is directed to Israel from the prophet Jeremiah, but the thing to note is the pattern or the cycle of war. So you have sword, war, famine, pestilence. They all go hand in hand. And the prophet Jeremiah described that cycle approximately 2,600 years ago. It was true then, and it's true today here in 2017. What we got here is a picture of the Arabian Peninsula. We're going to zoom in on Yemen. Again, for those of you who are new to this, the blue would be the Saudis. They are primarily Sunni. This is the rebels. They really have no affiliation with anybody, but they want to go, so they're in there fighting. And then over here we have the Houthis, which are Shia, primarily Shia, supported by the Iranians. And again, pestilence and disease go hand in hand as consequences of war. And Yemen is a country of 27 million people on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula. The civil war in Yemen continues to provide a real-world example of this pattern. So again, Sunni and Shia Muslims continue to fight for control of the country. And the issue is cholera. Cholera is the result of poor sanitation, untreated water and food, and dysentery. And it's a vicious cycle of disease that spreads quickly and easily among the masses. Signs and symptoms of cholera include severe vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, which leads to dehydration, cramps, seizures, coma, and potentially death. And here we are on September 29, 2017, and the latest numbers out of Yemen indicate 750,000 people have been afflicted with cholera. 276,000 were infected as of July 2017, so just 3 months ago there were a third of the cases. The International Committee of the Red Cross, or the ICRC, estimates the number could reach 1 million by the end of the year. Now, these estimates have been wrong with every time they set an estimate. The spread of this disease has exceeded what they expect, and that says quite a lot because a lot of these folks make their living off of fear and overinflated estimates, and they can't keep up with this one. Now, per the World Health Organization, on average, there are 143,000 deaths per year around the world. So, what's happening in Yemen is just absolutely staggering and off the charts, relative to the rest of the world. Supply lines for food and medicine continue to be affected by the fighting, and as a result, medical care and food remain in short supply. And they're trying to ship things in, fly things in, and they're having a real difficult time because of all the fighting. Healthcare workers, at least now, are receiving food portions for pay. Previously, healthcare workers were receiving nothing in the form of compensation. Now, the following is a quote from Alexander Fate, and he is the head of the Red Cross in Yemen, and he's made the following statements. I don't think political settlement is coming soon, and I'm very worried that the extension of the conflict would lead to more problems. And he also further elaborated, the healthcare sector is really on its knees in Yemen. The health staff is on its knees as well because they are not paid. Now, granted, they're starting to get some food portions for some of their services. Continuing the quotes of Mr. Fate, in terms of access to even water, electricity, there isn't a power grid in the main cities in Yemen. And without the International Red Cross and other organizations fixing pumping stations, there wouldn't be any running water in Sana'a. And that is the the capital, which is right here where all this bad stuff is taking place right here. And this is, I mean, holy cow, let's zoom in on this. I mean, so you've got human rights, UN Human Rights Coalition airstrikes continue to be the leading cause of civilian casualties. Number of people with cholera in Yemen rises to 755,000, worst in history. Saudi-led airstrikes killed 26 children. I mean, it just goes on and on. 200 children killed this year. We are working on developing missile capabilities to reach any target in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. That's awesome. What's this one? Could reach 1 million. We discussed that. That's old data. Yemen Houthis detain U.S. citizen in the capital. All companies in the UAE should not consider the UAE as a safe country, so they're threatening the United Arab Emirates. What do we have here? We have unmanned aircraft flying hundreds of kilometers inside, and soon they will be armed. So, I mean, this situation just continues to spiral and escalate, and people continue to get sick. And I mean, it's just, again, it's the cycle of war. Scripture talks about it. God lays it out. Again, all the way from the Old Testament in Jeremiah, 2,600 years ago. John the Revelator talked about it. Revelation 6. Jesus talked about it. And here we are in 2017. We're watching it play out. So if you're interested in this, please feel free to check out paulthepoke.com. Keyword pestilence. That's a category you want to look at. Appreciate you guys listening. Take care. Thanks.